the Sceptre E255B gaming monitor. The E255B from Sceptre has a screen size of 24.5 inches. It supports 1920 by 1080 resolution with a 16:9 native aspect ratio, and it has TN panels with an LED screen display. It's worth noting that this is in fact a TN display as opposed to the brighter IPS tech, but that's the trade-off with entry-level, budget monitors, particularly those that offer a high refresh rate. This cheap gaming monitor does have all of the specs you would want for a high-quality ultra-wide gaming monitor, including a 1 millisecond response time and a 165 Hz refresh rate, and even has FreeSync compatibility for a relatively cheap price. It makes use of anti-flicker technology and is 75 by 75 millimeters VESA compatible with an extremely thin bezel. Coming at 21.96 by 7.35 by 15.95 inches with 99% sRGB. This monitor offers a wider color gamut than most conventional monitors, giving deeper colors and defining features. It has compatibility with DisplayPort and HDMI cables. That said, if you choose to connect using the HDMI cable, your refresh rate will cap out at 120 Hz instead of the maximum 144 Hz refresh rate. Unfortunately, getting all of these extra features at such a cheap price comes at a cost. The quality control for this monitor is very low, and due to the extremely thin bezel, the monitor is very fragile. Overall, if you're looking for an affordable screen to add to or build a multi-monitor HD gaming setup with, then this could be what you've been searching for, especially given those ultra-slender bezels which make up the edgeless design. 2 or 3 of these things on a desk would be unbeatable. Asus VG248QE gaming monitor. Asus has developed the VG248QE, which is a 24-inch monitor, and it supports a native resolution of 1920 by 1080 with a 16:9 aspect ratio. The VG248QE is an LED display, and it is the best gaming monitor due to its 144 Hz refresh rate that you can achieve without upgrading graphics cards, but if you have the latest graphics cards, this best gaming monitor will put it to full use. It has a rapid response time of 1 millisecond, which is always nice to see when paired with a 144 Hz refresh rate, but it is fairly common for TN-style gaming monitors. It is more than fast enough for any style or level of gaming and should please any gamer. It comes with built-in speakers built into the frame, though they are of inferior quality. We recommend using any other audio option you have at your disposal, such as headphones or external speakers. You do not want to use these as your main option for audio, but the visual gaming performance is amazing and has a wide viewing angle. It is fully VESA compatible, so it should be easy to mount to a wall or multi-monitor stand. Unfortunately, it does have very thick bezels, so this might not be the best use for this gaming monitor, but it has a great build quality. If that isn't your thing, then that's alright too. It comes with a stand that is fully capable of tilting, swiveling, and height adjustment, and it can even pivot into vertical screen mode if you spend a lot of time working with text or code or browsing the web. This great gaming monitor comes with several connectivity options, including DisplayPort, dual-link DVI-D port, and HDMI port. It is nice to have a variety of options to link your monitor to the device of your choosing, but it is not recommended to use the HDMI option because it does not support the full 144 Hz refresh rate. You can also see multiple windows open at the same time because of its width. ViaTech GFE24C, the best, cheapest 144 Hz gaming monitor. The GFE24C from ViaTech is an LEDs with a VA panel type coming at 24 inches diagonally and supports a resolution of 1920 by 1080 at 144 Hz with a 16:9 aspect ratio. This option has a much slower response time than the monitor offered by Acer GN246HL at 4 milliseconds, but that is still acceptable for gaming and most likely won't be too noticeable for anyone that isn't a professional FPS or MOBA player. The refresh rate is as high quality as you would expect at 144 Hz, and it doesn't require that you use any special or specific cables to get it. That would be great if not for the fact that this monitor only has one connectivity option, which is HDMI. So if you don't already have an HDMI cable, then you will have to purchase one to connect this monitor to your machine. This sized 24-inch gaming monitor from ViaTech is one of the best with. In addition to the previously mentioned things, its color gamut and good contrast ratio provide great picture quality and a smooth gaming experience. It has FreeSync support as well as being G-Sync compatible to reduce screen tearing as well. It is fully VESA compatible, which makes this a good choice for a multi-display setup or a wall-mounted display. This great monitor also has a very thin frame, so it should be pleasing to the eye and very convenient if you decide to go that route. Altogether, I'd say this is an excellent and relatively inexpensive choice if you are looking for a 144Hz gaming monitor. The only downsides to getting this monitor are the lack of connectivity options, and from a gaming perspective, the slower response time if you are into competitive games that require a faster response time. Acer GN246HL. The GN246HL from Acer has a 24-inch display with a maximum resolution of 1920 by 1080 at a 144Hz refresh rate with a 16:9 aspect ratio. The GN246HL is a flat LED display with a TN-style panel type and good viewing angles. The 1 millisecond response time is a fantastic response time for gaming and couldn't ask for better. That said, this monitor's refresh rate is a little wonky. It advertises at a 144Hz refresh rate, but it fails to mention in the product description that it actually operates at a 60Hz refresh rate, except for when you use a DVI plug to connect it to your machine. So, if all you have is HDMI or VGA, then you are stuck at 60Hz until you shell out the extra cash for a DVI cable. On the upside, you are likely to not need a new graphics card. Unfortunately, this monitor does not come with FreeSync or G-Sync, which means you will have to manually match your frame rate to your refresh rate if you notice any of the symptoms that occur when they aren't synced. Having that capability is fairly important for a solid gaming monitor, which holds this one back from being a fantastic choice for all of your gaming needs. This cheap gaming monitor is VESA compatible, which makes it a great choice for a multiple display setup if that strikes your fancy. Unfortunately, this monitor has some fairly thick bezels on it, which could be distracting in a setup like that, and it could also be inconvenient depending on how your setup is configured. It has received an ENERGY STAR rating, which means that while you are using this best budget gaming monitor in place of one without that rating, you are saving money on your electricity bill because this monitor uses power at a very efficient rate. This great gaming monitor has 3 different connectivity options available for use. There are HDMI, VGA, and DVI ports for connecting to your machine of choice, though you should also remember that the HDMI and VGA ports are limited to a 60Hz refresh rate, and the only way to get the 144Hz refresh rate is through the DVI port. AOC G2590FX. The G2590FX from AOC has a larger screen size than the other options so far at 25 inches. It supports a maximum resolution of 1920 by 1080 at the desired refresh rate of 144Hz and has a 16:9 aspect ratio with a TN panel type and a flat LED display. The response time is lightning quick at 1 millisecond, so there should be no complaints about input lag by anyone from casual to professional and competitive gamers. It comes with compatibility with G-Sync, which is especially pleasing for an NVIDIA user. There are a lot of cheap gaming monitor options that come with AMD FreeSync, but very few of them come with native G-Sync compatibility, so it is a little exciting with that. It is fully VESA compatible, so it should be easy to mount to your wall or add to a multiple display frame, and also comes with a thin bezel, which is extremely pleasing to the eye. The only downside here is that such a thin bezel won't support or protect the screen very well, so you should be extremely careful when handling this cheap gaming monitor or transporting it. This not-so-good budget gaming monitor comes with several connectivity options, including HDMI, DisplayPort, and VGA, but much like the previous option, you have to use specific ones to get the maximum refresh rate this monitor is capable of. If you are using anything other than a DisplayPort cable to connect to your machine of choice, you will be locked to approximately 100 Hz for your refresh rate. Without a doubt, I would say this is the best option for gaming on this list, though it is also one of the most expensive monitors. It is also worthy of note that this is a TN panel type monitor and is susceptible to good color accuracy problems and contrast ratio, as well as maybe being a little too bright, so this is not a good option for general uses. It is specifically designed for gaming and will perform at its best in that capacity.